my chief, Kitagan ZB Chief Gilbert Wydock. Come up.
Oh. Claudette Commanda, Nidishna Cause, Kitagan Zibi Donjiba. Mon nom c'est Claudette Commanda. Je suis une femme algonquine des Premières Nations du Kitagan Zibi et je suis très fière d'être ici aujourd'hui to speak about the issue. And what do you say in a time like this? First, I begin by acknowledging those Aboriginal women who are not here. They're not here with us physically, but they are here with us in spirit. I acknowledge the families of these sisters. It takes courage, it takes bravery, and it takes love to make sure that these women are never forgotten, that these women are always remembered, and that these women are Aboriginal sisters. They are not issues, they are human beings. This is a problem, and it's beyond a problem. It is a crisis that has began, which I believe, ever since the plantation of colonialism. Colonial history has colonial violence, and it has spurred racism, which has caused our Aboriginal women to be disrespected, to be murdered, to go missing. It has to stop. The families of Sisters in Spirit, they brought everyone together for a purpose, and that was to seek justice for their sisters, their mothers, their grandmothers, their aunties, their friends. And I plead to Canada, you have to come together and you have to support us to make sure that this crisis will stop now. It cannot go on, because for every Indian woman that goes missing or murdered, you take away a nation. And we deserve the right to our nations forevermore. We are the first people of this land. Colonial violence must stop. It has to end today. It should never have been. There should never be any violence inflicted upon anyone. And I know there is violence that's inflicted upon all women. All you need to do is go back and look at European history and how they treated their women. And when they came here, they planted that way here towards our women. That was wrong. It is wrong yesterday, it's wrong today, and it's going to be wrong tomorrow, and it's got to stop now. Canada has to wake up. It has to accept, it has to acknowledge, and it has to admit that colonialism is what created this country. And if it speaks about reconciliation, then it has to admit its colonial history, and it has to have the solutions to stop the violence, to stop the racism. That violence against Aboriginal women, it is a national tragedy and disgrace, and it is time to put an end to this tragedy and disgrace. There are solutions. We have the solutions. Listen to the voices of the families. For what they tell you is the truth. They are carrying that pain. Listen to the voices of the formerly silenced people. It is time that the Aboriginal peoples, the First First Nations of this land called Canada, hear our voices. walk with us, pray with us, sing with us, demand with us. And together as human beings, as brothers and sisters, we must come together in this circle to stop this violence. I want to live in a country where my Aboriginal sisters can walk freely, can walk in safety, can live in safety. I want this for my daughters, my granddaughters. We all want that, right? The Aboriginal women that are missing and murdered, not only did they have daughters, but they also had sons. And we cannot forget the fathers and the grandfathers and the husbands and the brothers. We cannot forget our men as well, for they too are suffering because they have lost their brothers and they have lost their sisters. We see more and more every day. Aboriginal girls and women are going missing. They're murdered. Those perpetrators of violence, they're walking freely, and that's wrong. It has to stop. It has to. So I plead to you, Canada, listen. Listen to what is being said at this moment. For all of you that are out there in the streets, wherever you are in Canada, how can you stay in your warm, cozy home, in your warm bed, and pretend or deny that this is not a problem, that this is not a crisis? It is. So please, and I plead with you, support Aboriginal people, support the families of Sisters in Spirit to bring justice for their loved ones, to ensure that other Aboriginal girls and women will not go missing, will not go murdered. The voices of our ancestors are here at this moment, and they are holding, embracing dearly our Aboriginal sisters who have been murdered, our Aboriginal sisters who are still missing. And we continue to pray, we continue to ask for justice, and importantly, and I believe that we just can't sit back idly or say it softly that it is not a problem. Because the reality, it is a crisis, and it has to end now. And now, not tomorrow. And across the street from here, and behind where I'm standing, there are people in there that have the power to make the change. So to you, Harper, and to you, the government, Harper's government, I demand that you do what is right for Aboriginal women, to respect us for who we are as the first women of this land called Turtle Island, but known as Canada. Chimigwedge, all my people, I love
Chimigwedge, Claudette, we're now going to have our